Good afternoon.
It is.
I'm excited. My heart's beating. I always come with my list of questions, and I always think that I'll walk out of here with them answered and think somebody else will ask them, but I get to be up here now. And I had help clarifying my question. I made a phone call to my daughter, and her passion and frustration came through. And I knew I wanted to ask this. And it's really related to family, whether it's immediate or external, that I have, well, not children anymore, but little adults who have, I think, great desires, but don't understand this, and I don't want to preach to them. If they have questions, they'll ask about, how do I do this, and what's happening?
It's better that way. When you answer questions that haven't been asked, it is never very well received.
How is it then that I see they have great desire, like my daughter had a great desire to not live in our house, and my husband had a great desire to have calmness, and magically money appeared that she gets to live in a dorm sooner. So, sometimes things will occur and you don't know which way it's going, but you see the frustration, and how is it that you can influence them or just think about them to help them understand that they can start feeling better, they'll figure out their way, rather than us saying, as we've done as parents, like you said with Esther, that maternal instinct kicks in and you want to make them go to college and you think you know what's right, and yet they're finding their own way. And then there's other familial influence saying they should be in the Army, they should be going to school. And how do you just filter that all out and help them?
Well, the most important thing that we would like to say to you is that you cannot help anyone that you are worried about. Because when you're worried about them, you're holding them as your object of attention while you're not connected to the fullness of your source energy. And so you don't have much to give them. And so we always begin by saying, if you are troubled about someone, give them a break and think about them as little as possible.
Okay.
Because
That's true.
You are not of value otherwise, and it just sort of antagonizes them. When you worry about someone, you actually hold them as your object of attention with an active, worrisome vibration within you, which influences an activation of a worrisome vibration in them. And that's why sometimes your children say, just leave me alone. That's why they want to get away. They can feel that things aren't going well, and they certainly would like them to be better, but your worry just compounds it. And it's a smothering thing. It makes them feel like if I could just get away out there where I can breathe and be easy, then I could get myself back into balance. So the first rule of thumb is, think about those that you care about as much as possible, but only when you are feeling good. Now, sometimes that means that, let's start in another place. You've learned to think the way you think based upon your relationship. It's an interesting thing. Sometimes we will see a child, for example, who is dependent. They've counted on you for shelter and for guidance for a rather long time. And they're screaming for independence, but they have been dependent in nature. And so they've trained you to treat them as if they are dependent, and you've trained them to be dependent. And it has been a working relationship until they were about 7. And then they no longer want to be dependent, even though by law they still are. And you continue to think of them as that. And so at some stage along the way, and certainly by the time they're ready to go to a dormitory in college, you're wanting to begin to accept that they are independent. Only the trouble is, they've trained you to see them as dependent, and you've trained yourself to see them as dependent. Right. So both of you have a transition to make. Now, most people offer almost all of their vibrations based upon what they are observing. In other words, if you observe something that makes you feel good, you feel good. And if you observe something that makes you feel bad, you feel bad. And then you think people should change the circumstances to make you feel good so that you could feel good more of the time. And we don't blame you. It's nice when people are able to stand on their heads to please you. But only a few are really interested in doing that. And no one is very good at it long term. So then you begin to say, I look at my daughter in the way that I do because of the relationship that we have built together. And the reality that she has shown me, she hasn't been all that responsible. And she hasn't been able to take care of herself all that well. And now, all of a sudden, I'm supposed to just flip a switch and see her entirely differently than I have been seeing her or as she has been showing me. doesn't seem possible. And we say, it is only possible if you are able to create a virtual reality that causes you to pick the very best parts of her, the very most free, independent, fun-loving, successful parts of her, and practice those parts until those parts make up the bulk of your vibration about her. And when that happens, your whole relationship will take on a different. You might begin to realize that at one time you felt very much the same way, and you moved through it. In other words, we have to say to you that most of the reluctance that you feel about your children is because you remember yourselves. In other words, you don't trust them because you remember yourself. You worry about them because you remember yourself. In other words, your own experiences taught you your worry, but your own experiences taught you your triumphs too. They taught you that you can make it happen. And in the same way, you can fast forward and know that your children will too. So it's a matter of practicing. It's a matter of reaching for the most positive aspects, and you know you've found them because you feel good when you find them, and just practicing them until they are your dominant vibration. And when it shifts, you will notice by the way your daughter looks at you that she can feel the shift too. You can't fake it. If you're worried and smiling, they know. In other words, if you're angry and pretending you're not, which most of you don't try very hard to do, they know. In other words, your vibration is so obvious to those around you. Have you had your children be upset with you just because of the look on your face, even though you didn't say anything? And they're not talking even about your body language. They're reading your vibration. They know that you don't think they can make it, or they know that you don't think they're ready. And whether they are or not, they want you to think that they are. And so both of you are sort of in a no-win situation, because you're saying to your daughter, behave differently and I'll feel differently. And your daughter is saying, feel differently and I'll behave differently. And we're saying, feel differently.
Very good.
Do whatever it takes. So do you want to do a virtual reality about that?
Yes. Let's work on
that. Let's do one relative to your daughter, relative to her school, relative to her classes, relative to her dorm, relative to her lifestyle, relative to her freedom. In other words, let's wrap it sort of around that.
Okay.
Pick the scene. Where is it?
In her dorm.
And is it, how far into the school year is it? Is it early, or has she been there a while?
Maybe a month.
So she's all settled in, and you're there visiting. And what's the feeling in this place?
She likes her new dorm. She likes her roommates. She's taking classes that excite her, and she's happy talking about it and offering.
So as you are walking in, the ambiance is one of, this girl's got her life together?
Yes.
It's evident in what ways?
In the way the dorm is, how she approaches it, how she's showing where she lives and what they've done with it and how they're taking care of it.
And what's the feeling that's in your heart as you're seeing this successful experience?
Oh, happiness. Happiness.
Oh, man. Doesn't it feel wonderful knowing that she's out of the nest and doing so well and loving it so much?
Yes.
Don't you just feel complete relative to that? In other words, it's a wonderful feeling, isn't it?
Yes.
And now your scene is almost over, and you have just a moment to say something to her. What would you like to say?
Oh, I'm so happy that she's enjoying her experience.
You're speaking directly to her. What do you want to tell her?
Oh, Alex, I love you so much. I'm so happy you're out and learning and growing.
And I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
And your time's almost up. The scene is almost ready to close. What's she saying back to you?
Thank you, Mom. I'm having fun.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
In other words, you accomplish more in a little scene like that than in 10 years of trying to get her to clean her room up.
That didn't work.
You see?
Very true.
And so as you just pick little snatches like that, she can be in the cafeteria, she can be on campus, she can be in a classroom, she can be showing you her grades at the end of a semester, she can be having a holiday, she can be coming home for a weekend or for a vacation. In other words, you can pick any little happy snatch where it's easy for you to set the scene and you have a moment with someone you love. It is so powerful.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Which actually brings me to my last question,
Yes.
is that I had a mom who passed and reemerged and left the physical. And my question is that there are times that, and I knew this would happen. You want to pick up the phone and you want to call and you want to just have a conversation. And there's times that I think, oh, she's right here in the car with me. How can you facilitate that feeling and wanting to have a conversation?
Well, we would have some virtual reality conversations because as you do it in virtual reality, your resistance is less.
Okay.
And when your resistance is less, you'll have that experience. In other words, that feeling that you have, sometimes she's in the car with you, things like that happen in cars all the time because the car, not always, but often, is a very connecting place. More of you are driving by your inner beings than you are by your...
know.
And there's something sort of mesmerizing and connecting about being on the road. And so when you have that feeling, carry it out a little bit. Have a little conversation. In other words, dart in and dart out. Stay long enough that it feels good, but not so long that it starts to turn.
Okay.
The reason that sometimes when you want to pick up the phone and call is because, now this is not always true, but it was often true. Often, the time that you wanted to call your mother was when you needed somebody to lean on just a little bit.
Sure.
So the time that you were making that phone call was at the time when you were less connected than usual, and you don't have access to her anymore under those conditions.
Right.
In other words, she won't answer.
She won't come.
Oh, she's always there, you just can't hear her.
Yeah.
It's like the connection is not there. So just remember, the better you feel, the more conversations you can have. And we would prepare for them in this virtual reality setting. It is a powerful thing to achieve a state of being just because you want to, and then see the results of your newly achieved state of being.
Thank you. Wonderful.
There is no separation between what is physical and non-physical, other than what physical beings achieve by lowering their vibration. So in your high good times, that's when you connect. Very often, we see this every day with every one of you. You're in a place of greater connection where those that you love are flowing to you in a more powerful way. At dinner the other night, Jerry and Esther had something happen, and Esther said she was feeling so wonderful, and she was thinking about her dearly departed friend who Esther calls Sweet Lorraine. And Esther said, in this moment of ecstasy, talking about something that she knew Lorraine would have liked to have talked about, Esther said, I hope Lorraine is listening in a moment like this. And goosebumps just rippled all up and down her body. In other words, Lorraine is saying, I am here, in the same way that you receive confirmation. In other words, anything you ask for is always there. Always there. You just have to be in a place that you can hear it. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you.
Yes, indeed.